The global financial crisis was the largest financial crisis since the Great Depression in the 1930s. Since the global financial crisis, the national debt of the United States has climbed to over $18 trillion. Overspending of the budget and poor economic policies have come to hurt the United States economy since the financial crisis. With the debt continuing to climb to insurmountable heights and the other policies put in place during this crisis, Americans will be working through these problems for generations to come. These issues will continue to affect current and future American generations. Through my research, it has been found that bailouts of large corporations during the global financial crisis have harmed the economy of the United States. The government's decision to bail out large banks, insurance and financial service companies, and the auto industry was unnecessary spending that has contributed to an enormous national debt and a struggling economy. Today, we will discuss the effects these bailouts have had on the United States. I will describe the purpose of the bailouts at the time and the consequences that have followed. In this discussion, I will explain to you the individual bailouts of the banks, the insurance and financial service companies, and the auto industry. I will detail the effects of the bailouts have had on the free market, the national debt, and the economy of the United States. Finally, I will propose my conclusions on the handling of these bailouts. These bailouts have become a large economic issue in the United States. First, I will discuss why these bailouts have not been as successful as government officials had originally planned. The United States government is overspending and making poor decisions through the bailouts. The overspending of the government is a problem current and future Americans are faced with cleaning up. Many consequences will come from unnecessary overspending. Bailing out these large corporations was an unnecessary expense for the United States. The government spent several billions of dollars on the bailouts. In an interview with PBS, David Stockman, the former Reagan administration budget director, said, "We should have let it continue. Goldman would have gone down. Morgan Stanley would have gone down. It would have burned out there. It wouldn't have spread to Main Street. The Main Street banks were in good shape. We basically made a mockery out of free markets and financial discipline, and we will never come back." The government continued to spend taxpayers' money through TARP, or a Troubled Asset Relief Program, with bailouts totaling $700 billion. Bailing out these corporations has harmed the economy and added to the national debt. The United States' economy has struggled since the global financial crisis, although it has slowly begun to rebuild. The national debt has reached record heights following this crisis, currently over $18 trillion. These decisions have had many effects and consequences following the crisis. Some effects of the bailouts have been an insurmountable national debt and a weakened national economy. Our money as taxpayers has been spent irresponsibly, and we, along with future generations, must deal with this from the large national debt it has created. The national debt has reached heights that some believe we may never be able to recover from. The national debt has increased over $7 trillion under President Obama's term alone, and today the national debt is the largest it has ever been. David Stockman believes we may never recover from this debt when he says we basically made a mockery out of free markets and financial discipline, and I believe we will never come back. The economy has struggled following the global financial crisis and these bailouts. The United States economy has been recovering following the crisis, but the bailouts and other policies have created a difficult situation. The Washington Post describes the economy saying, "In the United States, the story of the economy is a good news, bad news affair. Jobs are coming back, but millions are reluctantly accepting part-time work. Investors are accumulating wealth, but income levels are hardly growing. The national debt and economy have been problems recently, but I will propose my plan for the United States." My suggestion for the bailouts would have been to let these corporations work through it or fail on their own. Today, I would suggest that the United States cut overspending and unnecessary spending of taxpayers' dollars. The government should focus on restoring the economy and decreasing the national debt. Decreasing the national debt will help to stimulate the economy, and the economy has been improving following the financial crisis. The United States economy has been able to recover faster than nearly every other country following this crisis, but the national debt will continue to increase due to this unnecessary spending. These large bailouts greatly added to the national debt, but if these corporations can repay the bailouts with interest, and the government can cut unnecessary spending, then the national debt will decrease over time. The national debt has increased, though, more than $1 trillion over the last year. This unnecessary spending and bailouts can greatly influence the future of the United States and its economy. Continued unnecessary spending and bailouts could destroy the free market and harm the economy while adding to the national debt. Continued unnecessary spending such as bailouts could affect our future economy and the job markets for us. If the national debt continues to greatly increase, it will affect jobs, our government, and the economy. A large national debt allows for less spending by the government, which may cut benefits towards jobs or the economy. The government will have to make decisions to decrease this large national debt by cutting spending, increasing taxes, or cutting benefits. All of these may negatively impact on jobs, the government, or the economy. Continue to bail out large corporations will destroy the free market. David Stockman says, if we are going to say that Washington will rescue anybody who is big and noisy and threatens a trauma, then we're going to have total socialism. We're going to have an ossified economy, and we're going to have crony capitalism like you've never seen. Money will dominate everything, and we crossed that Rubicon when we bailed out Detroit in 2008. Bailing out corporations by the government will take the incentive out of the free market and could destroy the economy or job market. I've discussed the possibilities of continuing to bail out corporations and unnecessary spending, but our economy and debt may be able to recover in the future if we work to avoid these missteps. You can work to improve the national debt and economy by voting for government officials with a structured plan for improvement. You can show your support for cutting unnecessary spending and bailouts of large corporations, and you can work to help the economy, whether locally or nationally. The United States needs to work towards decreasing the national debt and improving the economy. For many years, Americans of all generations will be affected by these bailouts from the global financial crisis, and they can continue to work on improving this deficit. Through my research, I have found that without bailouts, we can continue to improve the United States economy. I hope I have convinced you that the government's decision to bail out large banks, insurance and financial service companies, and the auto industry was an unnecessary spending that has contributed to an enormous national debt and a struggling economy. I have described the United States missteps and their decisions of bailouts following the global financial crisis and the consequences from these decisions. I have also discussed what continued unnecessary spending would bring and a solution to the problem being presented. Together as a country, we can help solve these economic issues and problems. Thank you.